drums. A little guitar, please. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hope you're ready for the time of your life. Just look at me, I put a gleam in your eye. Buckle up, we're gonna take you for a ride. Let's go, we got you going good in a vibe. Everybody put your hands to the sky. Buckle up, we're gonna take you high. Show me, show me, show me, show me, show what you got. Come on, come on, come on, come on, ready or not. La 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 la, let me see how you vibe. It's on, it's on, it's on. Get crazy, 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 take it over the top. Cause we rock, we let it rock. Rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it, dance till we drop. It's on, it's on, it's on.
Okay now, are you ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Show stopping when I step in the place. Before it's done, you're gonna